An uncontested divorce is essentially where there is no disagreement as to one of the major areas of the divorce. And the major areas are the distribution of the assets and the debts, spousal support if that applies and there's a big income disparity, and custody and child support if that applies and you have children of a certain age. So if everything's agreed to as to all those topics, it can be considered uncontested. With that said, it is highly unusual that every single issue is agreed on. In a perfect world, an uncontested divorce could be submitted to the court within a few weeks' time. And then you have to wait for a judge's final sign-off, which does vary from court to court, anywhere from a few weeks to many months. Contested divorces tend to be more common than uncontested because typically, if you think of the areas that need to be addressed in divorce, there is at least one that has some disagreement and needs ultimately some compromise. So again, the main areas are the distribution of the assets and the debts, spousal support if that applies, and there's some gap in income between the two people, and then child support and custody. Usually at least one of those has some disagreement involved, and that makes it contested. What you want to also remember, though, is by the end of the case, whenever you have the end of the case come, and I say it that way on purpose because you really do have a say about when the end of the case comes, most of them are uncontested, 99% at the end of the day. Meaning you've reached agreement on everything and nothing's going to be decided by a judge. It's all going to be agreed upon, resolved, and designed by you and your spouse. And how long that takes really is up to you. There are a discrete number of things that need to get addressed. The distribution of your assets and debts, spousal support if that applies and you have a difference of income between you and your spouse. And if you have children, you have to deal with custody and child support. Those are the issues. How long it takes you to reach agreement is highly dependent upon how much you're willing to look towards the future and what you're trying to create, rather than continue to look back on all that was not working. You're not typically going to get the revenge that your automatic brain may want in the divorce. The more you let go of what has happened, not to justify it, not to tolerate it, not to make it okay, but to claim and own the future that you're creating for yourself in this one life, that determines how long it takes. It really determines how long it takes. You will spend more if you're focused on the past. It will take longer if you're focused on the past. The more you face forward, the cheaper it will be, the faster it will go, and the happier you will be. I promise. For an uncontested divorce where you really have full agreement on every single topic, there are forms that you can attempt to fill out on your own. It's not, if you have any assets beyond a basic bank account, I do not recommend doing that. If you have, either of you has a retirement account, if there's any real estate involved, any investment accounts involved, I highly recommend using an attorney. The other thing that can get missed if you try to do this yourself is debts that you may not know about that your spouse has gone into in their own name or even in your name without your knowledge that you may not be protected from if you try to do it yourself. Unfortunately, our legal system is not designed to be very user-friendly to non-lawyers. Now, hiring an attorney to do a truly uncontested divorce can be less costly, can be faster. But the reality of it is if there's any disagreement on one of the points, it becomes contested. If you have any questions at all about the difference between an uncontested and a contested divorce, whether yours fits into one category or another, the cost of each, how long it will take, contact us at Hannon De Palma. We've been doing this for a long time and can guide you through it.